South Africa were completely destroyed in this first T20I. We are regularly slow starters in most of the time in most series that we play, whether it be whatever format we play in Test, T20, ODI. We normally slow things at the top of the game and of the top of the series. We're quite slow to get started. And once again, we were very, very slow. To be blunt, we were horrible with the bat up front. South Africa were completely collapsed, and that ultimately set up the rest of the tone of the game. Because ultimately, if you're batting first and you can't put on a total to defend, what's the point of even continuing playing the game anymore? It's just like you're waiting for it to end. Luckily, we got past the 100-run mark, and South Africa put on at least enough runs on the board to be able to defend. But we're going to discuss it as much as I can. I've put the live chat in the link in the live chat for you guys to be able to click on, so that we can come and have a chat with me live on the show. It's a fan calling opportunity for you guys if you want to have a conversation with us. So let's get straight into today's video. Let's get straight into today's episode. If you guys want to do a couple of things for me before we start, if you're new to this channel and you haven't subscribed quite yet, please click subscribe, click that notification bell for all future videos. Please, really, really appreciate it if you can do so. Also, smash that like button, comment, share, and do all of those things too. It's very important that we get this community going with regards to comments and shares and likes, etc., because that's how we get into recommended feeds on YouTube. So please continue doing so. I really would appreciate it. Our subscriber base with regards to our monthly magazine is growing every single day. So please go and join that family. The latest issue is 100% free, including all back issues. You don't have to pay a cent to subscribe. So please go ahead and download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. And then I'd like you to also to look at cricketfanaticsmag.com. That's where we keep you updated on a regular basis as well. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Looking forward to having this discussion with you guys and seeing what you guys have to say about this terrible performance by South Africa's batters. A very good evening. Welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your review show. I'm your host, Khalid, and this is the show where we talk about everything that has to do with the first T20I between South Africa and India. Now, it was a pathetic performance from South Africa with the bat. I'm going to put up the scorecard for you guys right now. South Africa was sent into bat first, and they only managed 106 for 8 in the 20 overs. Maharaj was the top batter, 41 for 35. Some people will be calling him a fledgling all-rounder again. We've got Markram, 25 of 24, and then we had Parnell that showed good signs, 24 of 37 as well. Those guys showed some good signs with the bat. But up top, it was pathetic. Ducks after ducks after ducks. Swinging deliveries, guys, once again bothering us, whether it's experienced batters or our newer batters. When the ball's moving a little bit, they can't seem to find a way to play it, and they seem to be playing outside the line, fishing to get bat on ball and then nicking it. They don't have the patience to maybe think and change their game if the conditions are doing something crazy. Everybody went in hard hands at deliveries, didn't think about maybe slowing things down, finding the gaps, running between the wickets. Unfortunately, we see what we see over here with Ashdeep, Chavar, and Hashal completely dominating with the ball, finding that swing up front and completely toppling South Africa over. The reply, you saw that patience from KL Rahul. KL Rahul stuck to his guns, stayed calm, 51 or 56 deliveries. Sky as well, he played the more attacking, aggressive role, but they complemented each other brilliantly to get themselves over the line. South Africa bowled well. We did bowl well to fight back and have some sort of fight back in this match. But ultimately, it was India's game, and it was a complete domination. So that's my take on it so far. Let's get to the callers immediately. We're going to start with Lorenzo Bailey. We've got Faraz with us, and we've got Ashwani with us. All of us, let's go around the table and have you guys' thoughts on this particular match. I'm going to start with Lorenzo. You called in first. Bro, you must be pissed about this. Particularly you must be pissed about this.
Yeah, Khalid, absolutely pissed, to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't know even where to start. Let's start with the betting. If you look in social media, people making a whole lot of excuses again. Oh, the ball was swinging. It was a green top. It was this. There was pace. There was bounce. Well, this is international cricket. What do we expect? Do we expect to go out there and play on flat tracks all the time, play against bowlers that bowl up and down, score 200, then we look good, and then as soon as we play against a Trent Bolt, a Mitchell Stark, a Arshdeep, a Chahar, a Bumrah, then we look like this. So I mean, look at our Timber. I don't want to pick on Timber. You know my stance on Timber. Good test match better, good one day better, not a good T20 cricketer. My stance on Timber is they worked him over today. Three outswingers and one inducker. He should have expected the inducker. The bowler brought him forward for three deliveries in a row. He bowled the inducker, he was gone through the gate. What was the cock doing? Playing a crossbet. He
Again,
knew the ball was swinging, but still played crossbet.
again.
How many times does Quinn the cock out like that? Inside edge
Yeah.
crossbet when the ball is swinging.
I
How
think
many
that's the
times?
concern more, Lorenzo. It's the amount of times we see the same dismissals. I think that
Exactly.
peeves us off the most as fan base.
Exactly. And don't get me started with what's his name, Riley Rousseau. Yes, I feel Riley Rousseau, Tristan Stubbs, as well as David Miller don't deserve a lot of stick today, right? In terms of these innings. Yes, they played false shots, but they Riley Rousseau scored at 90 odd in England. Miller is our most consistent performer, and Stubbs is a young guy. You saw what he can do in England, right? So my owners or my fight is not against them, but what was Riley Rousseau doing? No feet, 2 feet in the toilet, but once again played a wide delivery. The ball is swinging away for left armer. He edged it. Right? But my situation is this, Khari, right? And I know I'm venting a bit, so just let me be for a
Yeah.
while. I won't be long,
Go
I
ahead,
promise.
bro. It's your
My
show.
thing is
This is
this.
the fan show, so you guys go ahead.
My my thing is this, Khalid, right? We going if we open up in the World Cup with Quinton de Kock and Temba Bavuma, we're going to be in this situation more often than not because we are in this situation with those two batters. For the past year, they've put the middle order under pressure, right? So who's to say in the World Cup it won't happen again? I can bet my bottom dollar it will happen again, once again. They put us under pressure all the time. The Quinton de Kock talk must start tonight. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not having this anymore. I am
Mhm.
absolutely fed up with Quinton de Kock. No, no more. No more excuses for him. Nothing. He's proven nothing in T20 cricket this year for us. Right? We have Reza Hendricks. I'm sorry, guys. The leading run scorer in Pro 20 cricket for the Proteas sit on the bench. How ridiculous is that when you have two out of form opening bats between Quinton de Kock and Temba Bavuma? What are we doing here, guys? So that just shows me that the selectors don't actually rate a player like Reza Hendricks because they're not willing to drop a Temba Bavuma or a Quinton de Kock. So are you guys telling me that if it continues like this in the series, that come the first game in the World Cup, it's going to be Quinton de Kock and Temba Bavuma, and I can bet my bottom dollar that both
It
of them
probably will
will
be.
put us under pressure, the middle order under pressure once again.
Mm.
Khalid, where do we lose the
That is
games?
the biggest problem,
Where,
bro. That's the biggest problem. Right? I was gonna
exactly.
just say that now. The top of the order is a problem, and I agree with you 100%. If Temba Bavuma and Quinton de Kock can't find form in this series, they can't be the opening partnership for the World
No.
Cup. You need to pick
Nah,
on form. You have
I'm
to pick
sorry.
on form for a World Cup competition. For me, and like I've always said, and I've stuck true to my guns with regards to this. Give opportunities and work out your transformation plans and all of those stuff. Work that out
Yes.
there during the series, during your bilaterals and your tri series. And
Not in
when it
World
comes to
Cups.
World Cups, you need to pick your
No,
best team that's
boss.
on form. 100%. That's what I believe in, and I'm going to stick to that
Exactly.
because if you want to win the competition, you need to pick your most informed players. And
Eh,
unfortunately, if they don't find some form now, I'm sorry, they're gonna have to make a serious decision on what they're gonna do for that World Cup in the first starting game.
eh, eh,
Lorenzo, before I come back to you, I'm gonna
yes.
come back to you
Yes.
again. I just want to give Ashwani an opportunity to speak over
No,
here.
no problem.
Ashwani, there's a lot of people that have been speaking about the pitch, saying that this was a bad pitch and South Africa would have batted better if it was a different pitch. I don't want to look at those
Excuses, Khalid.
excuses. I don't want to look at those
Yeah.
excuses. Yeah, I don't want to look at
Yeah.
those excuses because it's excuses. To me, it's still we're struggling against the moving delivery, like I've said on
Yes.
multiple occasions, whether it is Test cricket, ODI cricket, whether it is T20 cricket, that ball swings a bit and we seem like we are amateur cricketers. So, what was it and what do you think went wrong with South Africa's batting today, Ashwani?
I think today what we saw the display of swing bowling, it's looked like Bob Messi or Terry Elderman bowling to the South African batters. I think the wicket is a little bit tricky, but o- over the time, what you show with Keshav Maharaj, he show us that this wicket is, if you apply in it, you can play the shot, the cover drive, Adam Markram plays, and also what Keshav Maharaj shows us too, that this is not, you can say that very bad track, but I think the lack of application from South African batsmen. Obviously, the mostly the T20 batsmen, they mostly expect that you get the flattest tracks. But I think Lorenzo is right. This is international cricket. You can expect any track in international cricket, whether it is you can say seaming a track which we today get, or a spinning track. So you have to be prepared for it. But what Arshdeep and Chahar shows today, I think they shows, you can say that, typical exhibition of swing bowling. I think they struck South African batters, and one thing which I mentioned too, with the Indian fast bowling especially, I think India's strength is there is not fast bowling. What we saw in previous 2 3 series, I want to say that 145 plus bowlers. Obviously, Bumrah is not playing there due to the back nickel he has got. So India gone to their strength, that is swing bowling, and Rohit predicted the toss brilliantly there. He knows that obviously that Thiruvananthapuram ground, it is near the coastal region, and the ground which you saw today, I think it's not the covered ground, and it is the multi-purpose stadium. So due to the coastal region there, the breeze is blowing towards there, and you if you saw the stands there, the one stand is little bit low. So third man to find, like the breeze is blowing there, so it gets help to the bowlers. So I think both the teams have equal chance today to bowl well, and obviously India has that mindset because they have to chase 118. So obviously when you chasing that total, so your mindset is bit controlled, that you can play comfortably well, which we saw with KL Rahul. At one stage he's 14 runs with 31 balls. So I think KL and Surya Kumar Yadav showed great composure. And coming to South African batters, I think it is one of days. I think pitch is little bit tricky. They can, if they shows little bit of patience today, I think if they score 135 to 150, they can easily fight this total.
You see, that's my problem, though, guys. You know, Lorenzo, I want you to step in here. My problem is over here that assessment should have happened when the first wicket fell. To see that the ball is moving the way it has, and to be a little bit more aware that this is going to happen. We see the same mistakes happen in the test arena when the ball was moving around off the scene against England. It's almost like we don't learn from the previous batters that failed. We go with the same plan and go at it the same way, stick to our plan and stick to our guns instead of adapting. We were supposed to play smart cricket, but I don't see the smart aspect of it where people are adapting their game plans to situations and to conditions. You mute, bro.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And I can agree 100% with this one, and with you as well, Khalid. The batters, I mean, the first three balls, the first two balls, they bowled two outswingers to Timber Puma. The third ball, it was an in swinger. So that immediately tell you that the ball is swinging, right? So Quentin de Kock should have realized that the ball is swinging. The message should have gone out to the batters in the dugout that the ball is swinging, guys. So be prepared, right? So my thing is this: Temba Bavuma spoke in his press conference about there was a particular answer, a question they asked him, right? Why is it so difficult to play in India? And he said that the Indian bowlers tend to swing the ball more than what we receive here in South Africa, right? So my thing is this, Khalid. They knew leading into the game, into the series, that India have a lot of swing bowlers, right? So what kind of preparations are we doing to counter that? If that
And
means,
that
and my thing is this, Khalid, we all want to see flamboyant cricket. I'm one of those. I want to see the ball smack out of the park, yes. But to be realistic, only on flat wickets and against mediocre bowlers, that will happen. But if you play against swing bowlers that are shrewd, that are clever, you must adapt. Our openers should have adapted. If we were 30 for none in this first 6 overs, we wouldn't have scored 100 and whatever we scored. We could have scored a respectable total of 150, right? But my thing is this: Sky and Rahul, showed us how to bet, how to adapt to conditions, and how to bet according to the situation. Miller, even Stubbs, I was very, 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 very disappointed with Tristan Stubbs today. That was, first of all, it was a rubbish ball and it was a rubbish shot. He got out. Right? I was very disappointed in him. So our middle order must just also take responsibility, just like our openers today. Yes, the openers put us under pressure, but they must also take responsibility because you, international cricketer, you should adapt to the conditions. You knew the ball was swinging. What was Miller doing? Playing way ahead of himself. A mediocre club cricketer know that if the ball is swinging, you play the ball under your eyes, you play it late, right? You get behind the ball, you play it late, you leave the ball. We couldn't even do that today. Miller was playing shots, Stubbs was playing shots, Riley Russell was playing shots. So what are we doing? My thing is just the preparation, Khalid. Are we sitting there and saying, if we are two down, what are we going to do? It's not about that. It's cool saying we're two down, okay, we're going to do this. But it's not working like that in any cricket. In club cricket, it's not working like that. You must
At the
adapt to the
moment,
current
it's
situation
when
that you're faced with now, currently. You can't just go out there and hit the ball and expect, no, the ball is swinging, but I'm still going out there with the mindset I'm going to hit the ball. No, you're going to lose your wicket. And just one more point, Khalid. Right. Our first game in the World Cup, people is making excuses again, the ball was swinging. Right. First game in the World Cup, we play against India. We're going to face Bumrah. We're going to face Bhuvaneswar. We're going to face Arshdeep. We're going to face Chahar, swing bowlers. So we're going to sit with us again. Right. Then we play Pakistan. Shaheen Safri to swing the ball. Then we have Hasnain. Then we have Ashad Rauf. Or what's this guy's name? Rauf. Pace, bounce, seam bowler. We're going to struggle again. We play Bangladesh. Mustafizur, swing bowler, slower balls. Taskin Ahmed, pace bowler, bounce, seam the ball. So we're going to struggle again. And if we miraculously progress, say we play Australia, you have Mitchell Stark, 145 plus, swing the ball. We're gonna struggle again. They're gonna bowl Quinton de Kock through the gate once again more. Right? We have Josh Hazelwood, swing the ball, clever bowler, Pat Cummins, etc. If we go again, England, Wood, Wokes, Topley, Willie, Curran, swing bowlers, shrewd bowlers, clever bowlers. New Zealand, they've trained both. So my point is this, Khalid. The people must stop making rubbish excuses about, no, the pitch was swinging, or the ball was swinging, the pitch wasn't. So we must only play on flat wickets now against mediocre bowlers, score 200. Say again, we play in the second game, it's a flat wicket, right? We score 220. Then I'm going to say this now. Some stupid people will say, oh, the Proteas is back again. They're showing adversity. Well, it was a flat wicket. If we play the next game again on where the bowler swing the ball, we're going to struggle again. So, and Khalid, I really want the Cock and Bavuma. Nah, I'm sorry. It's not working. Boss, it's not working, boss. What are we going to do there? Because if we want to win the World Cup, the opening slot is going to win us the World Cup. The bowlers, don't worry about the bowlers. We have quality bowlers. That's fine. I don't want to talk about the bowlers. I don't want to talk about the bowlers. I want to talk about batting tonight.
Yeah.
Quinton de Kock and Themba Bavuma can't go into this World Cup as opening pair. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah. So what do we do now? Because I know that we're going overboard here with our reaction now because we're upset about the loss. But now we're saying that we can't go with Themba and with Quinton de Kock at the opening partnership. Now, who are the backup openers? We don't have any. With them as a pair, I know what you mean. You mean them as a pair. And we need to choose one of them and then pick exactly. This is the other one. I understand that's what you're saying. But every single batter over here that batted today, even if you want to maybe shift someone up, like for example, so some people speak about shifting him up maybe and dropping Quinton de Kock. He struggled just as badly against that moving delivery. And that's the problem with South African cricketers at the moment. I feel that a lot of them are struggling against that ball that's moving away. I don't know if it's because of the domestic level and the fact that we are facing a lot of domestic level bowlers rather than guys that actually have the skill to swing the ball. Because if you look at the domestic scene in South Africa, there aren't a lot of guys that have that swinging ability. Probably one of the best swinging bowlers at the moment in South African cricket is Thando Ntini that swings that ball. Nandre Berger, who was supposed to be one of our best in the country with regards to swinging, was injured the entire season last season. You look at Clinton Stearman, he's the one that gets movement off the seam with the new ball, but we don't see it much in T20 cricket. So now South Africa is sitting in a situation where they're going to struggle with those type of things, and I don't know if they are doing their research with regards to players. going back and saying, well, like we spoke with Ashwell Prince on this particular channel, I said it as well to him, and I asked him about it to see maybe I was maybe crazy and maybe thinking of things that are maybe not true. But looking at our batters that are performing under those circumstances regularly and with consistently at domestic level, there are a lot of openers, etc., that will be facing those type of bowlers. Maybe not as world class as a Trent Boult, etc., but they will be facing bowlers that are moving the ball up front. And the batters that are performing the best under those circumstances should be should be picked so that we can fit a specific role within teams. I'm sick of us playing picking 11s that don't have. It almost seems like there's no thought involved. It was just like we're gonna pick the best 11 that we feel are that we feel are the right players, and that's what we're gonna stick for forever. We never see players getting adapted or changed according to conditions. I've always said I would like to see that. For example, I particularly prefer Ali Dasso on a smaller ground. He's more confident. He comes off his front foot a lot more. He smashes, sits off his back foot. He's a lot more patient to look for the big shots. And I think that those type of conditions suit him perfectly. I do believe that on a bigger ground, maybe Ali Dasso won't be as effective, but I do believe that he has the talent to be as effective, and maybe whoever will replace him. So there's a lot of thinking that needs to go into our selection when it comes to the day. I feel that this squad is still very balanced, and I think that we were unprepared for today's conditions, completely unprepared for the way this ball was moving around, and it's not an excuse because we need to find a way how to deal with it. Australia is going to be green tops. The ball's going to be moving around off the seam. It's going to have a lot of bounce. We're going to have to show our patience there as well. Ashwani?
Yeah, I think if you talk about the Australian wickets, I think Australian wickets over the years have changed their nature. Mostly drop-in wickets are used in Australia, which obviously made the wicket little bit flatter. The bounce is there in the wickets, but I think the swing issue is not only with South African side. I think it is all over the world cricket. I think India is struggling with it. Australia will struggling with it. Pakistan will struggling with it, and even England too. I think most of the batters in today's eras are there's a too much dose of white ball cricket. You can't expect the technical batsmen or like Sachin Tendulkar's, even Alistair Cook's, Hashim Amla types. So you can't take these batsmen anymore because most of the guys are playing leagues all around the world, and you mostly get the flattest tracks there. So people also want to see the more and more runs. So I think we should don't be over criticized with South African side because you mostly get the flattest tracks, and obviously it's right that you should be prepared with every type of track. It's international cricket, but I think it's the norm with all type of teams today that in one of the greenest track which you face, if India faces that track today, India will also bowl out under 100 today, like South Africa. Obviously South Africa is bad today, but one thing South Africa can do today, they can show little bit of patience. Obviously when Temba Bavuma got out, the batsman Tristan Stubbs played very poor shot. Riley Russo played with his feet stuck, don't move his feet, and plays outside the ball. So I think
Yeah.
these type of players have to understand the situation and game awareness. If South Africa spend 5 to 10 overs there, obviously if in 10 overs they score 45 to 50 runs, their batsmen had that capability that in the last 10 overs they can score around 80 to 90 runs, and that will be the defendable total in this wicket. So I think in these type of matches, the game awareness and game sense should be prevailed. If South African batsmen showed little bit of patience there, I think they can give a tough fight to India in this match. In the next match, I think Guwahati wicket is typically like Trivandrum wicket, but I think over the years the soil has changed in this ground, so that wicket will be good for batting. And the previous ODI match between India and South Africa, India and West Indies, there India easily chases the 326 target. Virat Kohli, I think, scored 140 there. So I think that will be the belter of ground. Obviously, it can be conducive to little bit of spin. And coming to that indoor wicket, it will be the pelter of the track, maybe the best batting wicket of this series. So I
Okay.
think if ball swinging, both the teams have to show a little bit of patience.
But
So
that's my
quick
thing,
question.
Khalid. SS1. Okay.
Continue, continue.
SS1 is it. SS1 is it there, right? The next game we play, it will be a flat wicket, right? Flat-ish wicket, right? So it will just once again be paper over the cracks. Khalid. So it will be just paper. If we score 180, 200, it will be paper over the cracks. Because when we play on wickets, it's difficult. We will falter again. And my thing is this, Khalid. Even on flat tracks, if the ball is swinging, the Proteas are wanted, right? Because the ball don't need to pitch on the wicket for it to swing. It swings through the air. So again, we will be wanted once again. So that's my problem. I have preparations. What are we doing in terms of preparations? And that betting coach we have that said, if they ask him a question in the press conference, oh, why is the betting so poor? And he replies, no, if I don't know, then how can the betting coach say that? Why is he a betting coach in the first place then? Even Herschel Gibbs commented on Lawrence's Twitter when he posted something there about the betting coach. Even Herschel Gibbs said, he's only there to throw throwdowns. That's the only thing he's there for. You don't know what's going
Yeah, I
on.
don't understand. I don't understand
So,
because
Khalid,
I
yeah,
believe Lorenzo that even if Riza played today, right, that I think that he would have struggled. Yeah, I'm not saying that he might not have scored.
and I
He probably
agree.
would have scored
I
runs.
agree.
He would have probably scored runs because he's in form and currently looked a lot better. But I think he would have also struggled a little bit. But that's a concern for me because that means every single batter. So, for example, if you drop, say now you decide for the next game, you drop Quinton de Kock, play Riza Hendricks and Temba Bavuma, or the vice versa, you drop Temba Bavuma and you play Riza with Quinton. Now they all perform poorly again. Then what do you do if all of our batters are now all of our top order batters are out of form going into the World Cup? Then at what stage? What do we do at that stage? Because
No,
that's
I
going to be
agree. But
that might be a problem for us because we don't have anybody to bring in that is a top order batter from the traveling reserves.
okay, Khalid, but you can look at it the other way as well, right? I know you're a positive guy, but that's looking at the negative. Why don't look at the positive? Why, if you drop maybe Quinton de Kock and Riza comes in, Riza goes a 50, scores 100. What then? What do we say then? Right? So we can go
No,
both
then you
ways.
keep him in the
You
team.
know?
That's the easy
Ex-
option.
ex-
That's the easy answer.
exactly.
I'm
So
asking a
so that's why I
difficult
say
answer. What happens if he
yes. You're
doesn't
asking the
perform?
difficult. And as I said, I know
I'm
you're a
asking a
positive
different
guy.
question.
Yes, you're asking the difficult question. But my thing is this, right? Riza Hendricks, leading run scorer for Proteas in T20 international cricket currently, right? But he sits on the bench. Come, I ask you this: if Australia had a leading run scorer, or England in their team, will he sit on the bench? He wouldn't sit on the bench, boss. He will play, right? My thing is this, Khalid. Why
But I think
is
it's
our
also because
selectors?
we have to think of it also of the fact of what Boucher and them said about giving people chances to get back into form and to show their
Okay,
ability.
but after the first
If
game,
your
that's
captain sitting on the bench and you know you want to play your captain,
yes.
you just think of it, put yourself in Boucher's shoes.
No,
It
no,
would
I
be
understand.
idiotic. It would have been idiotic for him not to play. Quinton de Kock, I agree with you. That could be, but they have clearly made a move, and we've also all complained about it as well. Playing Temba and Riza top, that is too slow. All of us were talking about that as well, complaining about that too. So
Agreed.
now we are talking. Now we're talking here about possibly playing the two of them, just because we saw Riza go on a good run of form where he was playing attacking brand of cricket. So we don't know if he's going to continue that on a difficult pitch. We don't know if the mindset
But
is going to still be there continuously.
I know,
We
Khalid.
don't know that
But with all the
because
respect,
generally
boss, we can't
speaking,
have no. But with all the
people
respect,
go
we
to
can't have
default.
we can't have that
Risa
mindset.
Hendricks is
Then
a type
I
of
mean,
player that normally plays not anchors innings, but plays deep. That's normally how he plays in T20 cricket. So the form that
I
we saw him in was actually an anomaly to something different to what we normally saw. But it's all we
no,
have to work
I
with. So I agree with you that we should be rewarding form. That should be happening. But they carefully and smartly said before this tour that they're going to give opportunities to guys that haven't been playing and haven't been getting opportunities and that
yes,
it can
and
still show their chances. And that's why they did what they did. I don't agree with it. I believe that we should be picking our best team leading up to this World Cup,
yes,
getting momentum. That's what I believe. But clearly, this is not going to happen.
and I agree with what you said, Khalid. But my thing is right. With all the respect, right, what you just said. But you should play informed players. End of. Doesn't matter. Yes, he's the captain, right? He should have played. Of course, Timber should play the first game. I mean, how would it look if Timber doesn't play the first game? He's captain. He's dropped. He just went. And you know what? Him they didn't get a gig in the SA T20. Just put the selectors even under more pressure because now they can't drop him because now they will. I don't know what if they drop. Imagine they dropped him for the first game. What would that say? say, no, you didn't get an SA20 gig. Now you get dropped for the first game of the series, and you're the captain. The guy would have been bottom. He would have been down at the bottom, right? But my thing is this, right? Play the first game. Yes, you play in the second game. You know what I'll do? I'll play all of our betters. All the betters that play today. They must play the second game and they must go make it right where they've been wrong, right? And when Kudin the Cock or Timba Bavuma or whoever doesn't score runs in the second T20, then we can't in the third T20 just say, right, we're gonna play the same team again. I mean, you have a leading run scorer guy, Dries Hendricks, on the bench that can come in. He's in form. So we can't now say, yes, it's an anomaly because before this he was out of form a bit. Yes, he was out of form. I agree. But in the ODSIC in the T20 series against England, he scored runs. In Sri Lanka, he scored runs. So now we use that as an anomaly because suddenly he's out of in form. So it's almost now like because he was suddenly in form, now we think he can be suddenly out of form as well.
No,
We can't go on that
I, I
because he
don't
scored
think that
runs.
the
He's in
runs.
form
I don't
currently.
think that. I don't think that the scoring runs is an anomaly. I think that the approach to the way he batted very differently to how we normally see in him, and
He
that's
was
a
more
positive
tackling.
thing. Yes, and that's a positive thing. They shouldn't dull him. That's my point. They shouldn't have done what they did by not playing him. I think they should have played him. That's my point that I'm
Exactly.
trying to make over here. And we might see a situation where they might even drop a guy like Riley Rousseau in the future as a three and playing him to find place. That could also possibly happen because we're also seeing. I know that Riley has his flaws too. He's not always going to come off. The one thing about Riley
True.
Rousseau is that as well. He's an X factor player. He's not always going to come off with consecutive half centuries, but he's so dangerous that you have to play him. And it's the same mentality that
Exactly.
they're throwing at Quinton de Kock. And unfortunately, Quinton de Kock has been now consecutively bad, and we need him to turn the corner. And if he does, do we? That was my point. If he doesn't turn the corner, and then we give Riza an opportunity, and Riza doesn't turn the corner, and we give Temba an opportunity, and Temba doesn't read, what do we do at that point? Going into the World Cup is my question,
Okay.
because
Before
that
before
could
before
possibly
Aswani
happen.
came in, I know Aswani want to come in also here, right? But my thing is this: why you see the Khalid, ne? I think we are subconsciously deflecting the situation of Timber and Kunan de Kock. Like you just said there, that you can see that Ariza replaces Riley Rousseau. But why can't it be that Ariza replaces Timber Bavuma or Kunan de Kock for that
That
matter?
could also
Because
happen. Yes.
exactly. Now that's what I'm saying. I think subconsciously we think, oh, Quinton de Kock is this beautiful player. He scored this amazing runs for the Proteas. Timber is a captain. He should play. He's a gun out of Test cricketer. So the potential is there. But why can't our selectors just be bold and say, look here, Timber, look here, Quinton. Quinton, you haven't scored the runs for the past year in T20 cricket for us. So, boss, we're going to drop you. And I'm saying this, they must tell this to Quinton. We're dropping you. We're not resting you. We're dropping you so that he must go sit there. Oh shit, I've been dropped. What am I gonna do now to come back into this team and be here that you don't drop me again? Because Quinton sits there, Timber sits there, even to a certain degree, to a certain extent, David Miller sits there with the mindset of I will never ever be dropped from this team. Even if I don't score runs, I will never be dropped. Make an example out of someone, and then you will see things will improve. And at this moment, for me, the Cock should be dropped. They should use this series. It's very unfortunate that Sturridge Stubbs isn't in the one-day squad as well as Riley Rousseau because I would have wanted him to get more games, right? My thing is this: South Africa must be clever now. Use Tristan Stubbs. Maybe there was a situation today, right, where Quinn de Kock injured his finger. They could have easily said, look here, we can use maybe this opportunity to say, Tristan Stubbs, take the gloves. Let's see what you can do. We're already losing the game. We're not going to win the game. Tristan Cup, take the gloves, keep for us. We can see,
Yeah, it's
okay,
those
okay,
little
now, okay,
details that we're hoping that they will make. Yeah, it's these little details that we
exactly.
hope that they make.
So,
Yeah.
and Khalid, the average Joe can see it, why can't Boucher see it?
I
Why
don't
can't the
know.
players
I don't
recognize
know.
that as well? You
Been
see what I
trying
mean?
to. I've been trying to figure that out for a long time, and why we can't do logical things. It's crazy. I just want to wrap this up quickly. Ashwani, can you give me your final thoughts as well?
I think South Africa should not be panicking. First of all, obviously this is the bad game for them. They get stuck in that green wicket. But I think coming to Temba Bavuma and De Kock's issues, I think South Africa need to find out the way to promote Riza Hendricks, because this guy is the most informed T20 player for South Africa and in the past 1 year. And what I saw in Riza Hendricks batting from the past 1 or 2 years, that guy is scoring with, he's not playing for that. I should carry on with that 15 over or carry on to 20 overs, or you can say that he don't play that struck game which he used to play earlier. Now he's using every ball in the power play, and he plays from where he plays attacking shots from the start. So I think that approach we need from Riza Hendricks. And plus, one thing that Riza Hendricks brings, he has both types of games. He can play attacking shots and can maneuvering the ball well. He has that type of capabilities which I mentioned you earlier that Mahila Jayawardene has also had. He will be the gun player in Australian conditions. So South Africa has to make the way for Riza Hendricks. Maybe they can try him in the next game or in the final game. They have to make the way out of him, because if the guy is in form, please play him. Otherwise, don't waste Riza Hendricks, or don't take him to Australia.
Riza
So
should have
I
played.
want,
Riza should
yeah,
have played.
Riza should play. That's it.
You were 100% correct, Ashwan. Yeah, Riza should play. Okay, guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in. We will be doing a preview show as well. Lorenzo, you can possibly also call in on that if I give you the link. I'll put it in the live
No
chat
problem,
again, so you
boss.
guys. Yeah, we can talk again about this going into the next game. But thanks a lot for everybody for tuning in. I'll see you guys again tomorrow with another daily show. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm sorry that this wasn't a victory for the Proteas. Let's hope that they can improve for the next game. They have some time to reflect now because they only play again on Sunday. So I hope that they can. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I'll see you guys really soon. Take care. Peace.